Hey, what's up guys, this is Shory here, and I've got another Modern Warfare 2 commentary for you today. Today I've got a game of Ground War Domination on Favela. Now, in this game I use nothing but my secondary weapon, and that is the Spaz 12 shotgun. Now, this video is quite long. I've had to speed some bits up, but it is still quite a long match. But it's a very, very action-packed match. I'll just let you enjoy the start here.
Charlie secure. UAV recon ready for deployment. Securing Bravo. UAV online. Predator missile ready for launch.
Yeah, so I noticed that in a lot of my recent videos, I did a bit of camping, and it's, I think it's much more entertaining to watch an action-packed game than it is to see someone get a great score. So yeah, sure, a nuke without killstreaks, it's quite impressive, but it's not the most entertaining watch, right? And that's the reason for this video. I don't get the greatest score. I actually die a lot of times in this game, but I think it's a pretty entertaining game to watch, and it was very, very fun to play as well. So basically, I'm kind of thinking, the shotguns being secondary weapons. Now, this is my first ever Call of Duty, okay? I've never played the series before this, but I understand in COD 4 or World at War, one of them, that shotguns were primary weapons. Now, I'm basically posing the question, should the shotguns in Modern Warfare 2, should they be primary weapons? Because as I pretty much demonstrate from this fucking orange here, that shotguns are damn powerful. Look here, look at that. Brilliant. They're so much fun to use, and they're so powerful that I think they're good enough to be primary weapons. What do you guys think? I'd like to hear your opinions in the comment section. Now, one thing you'll have noticed, I'm not playing very good players. That is true. To say I'm playing average players would be giving them a compliment. They're below average, they're bad, they really are. But I don't think that, if you don't mind that I'm playing low level players, I don't see why it would bother you. I've never really got when people say like, oh dude, you're only playing a bunch of noobs. I don't really get how that affects your viewing experience, if you know what I mean. Like, who does it really matter to you who I'm killing, But anyway, if it does bother you, then you maybe not enjoy this video, but if it doesn't bother you like me, then keep enjoying. So as you'll have no doubt seen, I've already got all three of my kill streaks in the game so far. I'm using a setup that I've recently really come to like, the UAV, the Predator missile, and that emergency airdrop. However, I got a horrible airdrop. I think it was 2 UAVs, a counter UAV and a Predator missile. It's just horrible. Although, the other day I was using these setups and I got 3 ammo crates and a counter UAV. I quit as soon as I saw that. I just thought, fuck off. And I quit. I do rage quite a lot. I hate to admit it, but I do. But the emergency airdrop can be amazing at times. It's all a bit luck. I remember once I got an airdrop. I got an AC-130 and a chopper gunner in the same airdrop. That was just brilliant. Although my teammate fucking stole the chopper gunner. Dickhead. Because at the time I didn't even realise it was a chopper gunner. I thought it was an attack helicopter. Because the symbols look so similar. So I just instinctively ran towards the AC-130 because I thought, that's the best crate, make sure to get that. That's the annoying thing about airdrops, your teammates can steal them from you, so annoying. So yeah, I took the AC-130 and then like seconds later I heard, friendly helicopter incoming, and I was like, oh you prick. Right, that's my killstreak sorted now. My perks, right, yeah, I'm using Marathon Pro, Stopping Power Pro, and Scrambler Pro? What the fuck? Yes, I'm using Scrambler Pro. Why am I using Scrambler Pro? I don't really know, to be honest. I was kind of thinking along the lines of don't knock it till you've tried it. You know, so I think what I was thinking along the lines of was I'd be flanking the enemies, you know, getting them from behind, and holy shit, that sounded really gay. Yeah, so I'll be getting them from behind, no sexual innuendos intended whatsoever. Yeah, I was kind of thinking along the lines of, you know, I'd be in their spawn, you know, in amongst them, and, you know, not knowing exactly where I am would be, you know, a big advantage. Just, you know, they'd only know that I'm nearby, they wouldn't know exactly because I'm using an unsilenced weapon, you know. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Domination, if I may, if that's okay with you. It's one of my favourite modes. And you'll notice that in this game, as you can just see there, I'm definitely being a very good team player. I'm capturing flags, I'm doing everything I can to make sure our team wins. And that's a lot of people don't do that. I'll admit it, even myself, I've been known to, you know, I sometimes don't capture flags, but I do in this game. And the best strategy to win a game of Domination is to get 2 flags and then just spawn trap them at their flag. Like, get A, and you usually want to have B and either A or C, and then just spawn trap them at their flag. So you want to just allow that team to have don't go for all 3 flags, allow the team to have 1 flag, and don't push too much into their spawn. If you hang right about the flag, then they can actually spawn at your flags. Like, I know on several occasions I've actually spawned right next to an enemy flag, because you're going to be spawning away from where the enemy are. So yeah, don't push too much into their spawn, just sort of spawn trap them at a distance. That's the best way to win a game of Domination. Right, now a little more about shotguns, because that is basically, you know, that's the whole purpose of this video, is to talk about shotguns. This is my favourite shotgun, the Spaz 12. I hate to admit it, but I used to really love the Model 1887 shotguns before they were patched. Yes, I know everyone hates on them, but they were so much fun to use. And I think if they put them back to the pre-patch models, then it made them primary, then they wouldn't be considered overpowered. Because, you know, if you consider that up against, let's say, you know, the no recoil ACR or the ridiculously powerful TAR or SCAR, you know, it doesn't seem too overpowered. Now, I'm using stopping power, like I mentioned, with this. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying that you don't need stopping power, or stopping power doesn't make a difference with shotguns. I don't care what anyone says, I completely disagree with that. I notice a huge difference when I use stopping power and when I don't with the Spaz. So I always use stopping power with it. And you also will have noticed that every time I get a kill with it, I always aim down the sights. Now, I know a lot of people don't aim down the sights with shotguns, but I really like to, because it basically activates the aim assist, and you can like lock on to enemies, and you can switch between enemies more effectively. So yeah, I like to aim down the sights of the shotguns. I know, but you can fire it from hip just as well, I think. So I get a second emergency airdrop, not that I get any time to use anything, and that's pretty much come to an end now. And keeping in mind that I only got a handful of Predator missile kills and nothing else, my final score was 56 and 16. Alright, see you later guys, bye bye.